So hi everyone, this is DBM 10013, Engineering Mathematics 1, and our lecturer name is Miss Noazima binti Mustafa. Okay, so these are my fellow members. The first one is Ronnie Benjamin Analaki Raymond Benjamin. The second is Sharvin Analaki Saravanan. Third is Devindran Analaki Murthy. And myself, Muhammad Ibrahim Shah bin Al Hakim. And my matrix number is 01DM21F1055. So before we go into our topic, that is vector in gaming, let's see what is vector. So vector, the definition of vector is a vector is an object that has both a magnitude and a direction. Geometrically, we can picture a vector as a directed line segment whose length is the magnitude of the vector and with an arrow indicating the direction. The direction of the vector is from its tail to its head. So as you can see the diagram below that shows how is the vector's magnitude and direction has been found. So the two vectors are the same if they have the same magnitude and direction. This means that if we take a vector and translate it to a new position without rotating it, then the vector we obtain at the end of the process is the same we had in the beginning. So let's go to our topic, that is vectors in gaming. So first, mastering how to work with vectors in game engines is one of the core building blocks to becoming a great games programmer, and gives you the ability to implement most of the mechanics found in modern games. Okay, so when you are a good programmer, when you are going to be a good game programmer, you I recommend you that you should uh, master the vectors so that you can be a great games programmer because you know the basics of vector. So what is a vector? In essence, a vector is a mathematical unit that can consist of more than one value. It's important to distinguish between vectors in traditional mathematics and in game engines. Vectors have a length or magnitude that can be used to quantify the vector's total size. In game development, vectors have two or three dimensions depending on its game, if it is a 2D game or a 3D game, and are generally used to represent the geometrical properties of objects within the game world, such as rotation, position, and etc. So next is these are the uses of vectors in gaming. So vectors for positioning, they're used for positioning. So in game development, the most common use of a vector is positioning. Say I am creating a 2D game, then a positional vector 00, the position of the 00 might indicate that a given object at the center is at the center of the game world. So now let's say I want to manipulate the vector by adding of its position. This work just as you would expect. So here's an example when a vector 2, 3 is added to our current one. It works as expected for subtraction, addition and or subtraction. Operations like multiplication or division can be only performed on vectors using scalars, single values that we can apply to all dimensions of vector. For example, we can take the value of 2 as our scalar. We can then multiply a vector of 3, 3 by our scalar to get a vector 6, 6. This can be really useful for positioning as well, especially when we combine it with directional vectors.
Hello everyone, my name is Ronit Benjamin. I'm from class DEM1. So I'm here to discuss question 1. The topic that I and my group has chosen is vector in gaming. Let's see the question. So as you can see, there's a Cartesian plane which has three objects, a spaceship at labeled A and two species labeled as B and C. So let's go to the question. A spaceship at A detected two alien species at B and C, which are about to invade Earth. The spaceship plans to destroy both alien species. So find A1, the direction of A and B, A2, the direction of AC, B, the magnitude of direction AB, C, the unit vector of direction AB. So let's see how to solve these questions. So first I'm going to solve question A, 1 and 2. So the method I'm going to use to solve this question is called as construction method. This method is using by drawing a line from the object A to the alien species at B. So we draw another line to the alien species at C. So then we calculate the box from x-axis to the y-axis. So the box from the x-axis is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 to the right and 5 up. So we know that the alien species is 5i plus 5j. And then for question A2, which is the direction of AC, we know that it's 7 boxes in the x-axis and 1 boxes up in the y-axis. So it's 7i plus j. So let's go to question B and C. Before that, let me tell you about the formula on magnitude vector and unit vector. So by using the diagram given, let me explain to you. So to find the magnitude of vector OP is equals to the Pythagoras theorem, because it's exactly like a triangle here. So we can use Pythagoras theorem. So it's x square plus y square, and we square root it. And to find the unit vector of A is equals to the direction of vector A divided by the magnitude of vector A. So let's solve the question B, which is the magnitude of AB. So to find the magnitude of AB is equals to, we just have to substitute the direction we got into the formula. So x is 5 and y is 5. So substitute 5 squared by 5 squared and we square root it. So we get square root 50, which is equal to 7.071. So for question C is the unit vector of AB. So to find the unit vector is equals to the direction of AB divided by the magnitude of vector AB. So we substitute the direction 5i plus 5j divided by the magnitude of vector AB that we already find, which is 7.071. So it's equals to 5 over 7.071i minus 5 over 7.071j, which is equals to 0.707i plus 0.707j.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Devendran here, matrix number 01 DEM21 F1038. And today I'm going to be presenting our second question for this presentation. In video games, we use vectors to represent the velocity of players, but also to control where they are aiming or what they can see or where they are facing. All of this can be done with one vector. We also need a point to keep track of the player's position at all times. In this case, the player's position will be the origin for our velocity and rotation vector. Let's say we have an enemy AI that needs to shoot all the boxes he encounters at B, but the enemy AI is looking at direction A. So now we want to rotate him so he can point at the box and shoot it. But we need to calculate the angle between where he's aiming and where he wants to actually aim to hit the box.
Okay, so guys, there are two vectors, vector A and vector B. So vector A is 5i minus j plus 4k, and also vector B is 2i plus 3j plus 2k.
Based on the given information from the question, we can sketch this diagram with x representing the enemy AI, which is looking at direction A, and B is the box where he wants to shoot. Theta is the angle from A to B, which is the angle where he has to rotate.
Okay, to find the angle, we will be using the angle between two vectors formula to solve this question. So this is the formula, that is cos theta is equals to the dot product of vector A and vector B divided by modulus A times with modulus B. Okay, so guys, so first we need to find the dot product of vector A and vector B. So first we need to multiply vector A and vector B. So 5i minus j plus 4k multiply with 2i plus 3j plus 2k. That's equals to 15. So the dot product of A and vector B is 15.
Next, we have to find the modulus of A and B. To find the modulus of A and B, we have to square root the sum of the vectors. That is 5 square plus negative 1 square plus 4 square. We get square root 42. And as for B, it's 2 square plus 3 square plus 2 square again. Therefore, we get square root 17. Next, we have to substitute all the values into the given formula just now. Therefore, cos theta equals to 15 divided by square root 42 multiplied with square root 17. Therefore, cos theta equals to 0.5614. Therefore, theta equals to cos inverse 0.5614. Theta equals to 55.85 degrees. The final answer is 55.85 degrees.
Hello guys, my name is Sharvin. So this is our last question for our maths presentation, that is vectors in gaming. In a video game, a swimmer swims across a current river towards the north with a constant velocity of 2 meters per second. There is a current of constant velocity 0.9 meter per second flowing towards the west side. So question A, determine the resultant velocity of the swimmer. So the velocity of the river is 0.9 meter per second. For the 2 meter per second itself, it's basically the velocity of the swimmer relative to the current. So it means this 2 meter per second is actually affected by the current of the river. So we have to find the velocity of the swimmer. So we use the Pythagoras theorem method. That is square root 0.9 square plus 2 square. You will get the answer 2.19 meter per second. So the velocity of the swimmer is 2.19 meter per second. So let's go for question B. If the river is 30 meters wide, find the velocity of the swimmer so that he eventually reaches the opposite current of riverbank in 20 seconds. So we have to find now the distance of the velocity of the river. That is 0.9 meter per second times 20 seconds equals to 18 meters. So we know that the river is 30 meters wide and the distance of the velocity of the river is 18 meter. So we can use the Pythagoras theorem method also. Square root 18 square plus 30 square equals to 34.99 meters. Now we have the distance of the swimmer. We can use the velocity formula, that is v equals to d over t. So velocity equals to the distance is 34.99 meters over the time is 20 seconds. So we'll get the velocity of the swimmer is 1.75 meter per second to reach the opposite current riverbank.
In conclusion, vector and scalar are used abundantly in the making of video games, be it positioning a character or object, finding the angle between two objects or the distance between them. Without the knowledge of vector and scalar, even the simple tasks will be incredibly difficult to perform. The advantage of vector and scalar is that they neatly represent things such as direction and position and also have several mathematical operations defined on them that make our life easier. Vector and scalar are also used in a variety of different fields, such as in sports, aviation, and military usage. Therefore, we can't deny the fact that vector and scalar are used in our daily lives. Hence, it's better to learn and understand it. We hope you have a better understanding of vector and scalar in gaming. Thank you. This video was presented by Ronit, Sharwin, Devendran, and Ibrahim.